Hey guys, so in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a tutorial for you on this. I'm doing a tutorial on the whole face makeup and then obviously on this neck situation that I've got going on here. So I was inspired to do, this is like supposed to be like a choker. I actually bought this choker, which I loved, and it's too wide. It doesn't look good on me. It's just, it eats up too much of my neck. I don't have like that long model neck, you know? But I love this choker so much, and I was like, God, I just wanted to do something with it. Anyway, I was like, wouldn't that be cool if it was like coming out of my neck? So this is just like the, I'm participating in Halloween, but I'm still slayed everywhere else. You can wear whatever the hell you want with this. So yeah, that's where I got the idea from to do this like choker type thing. It's basically like your neck is laced up because I can't wear the actual choker. This is the only way that I can wear this shit. Oh, and I did want to say this eye makeup. I feel like I really get in here during, look at my arm right now. This is real. It's like I have that the scab blood all over my fingers too, and like my nails. Anyway, whenever it's like Halloween, I always feel like I bring my shadow in here. That's when I'm like not scared to do it. Whenever I see Laura from Melt Cosmetics, like her smoky eye pictures that she posts, I'm just like, I melt inside looking at them. Because she just rocks like the heavy smoky eye all the time. Like it's no big deal with like all the black shadow in here. And I love it so much. So I was channeling her today when I was doing my smoky eye. So yeah, Laura from Melt Cosmetics, she is like my smoky eye inspo. If you guys don't follow her on Instagram, you need to follow her because she is just so incredibly talented, and I just really love all of her smoky eye look. She always makes me want to do like a little, I never do smoky eye, I usually do like no eyeshadow. Let's just be real. All right, so I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do this bronzy smoky eye and also the neck accessory piece. And I'm also gonna be using all of the products from this month's Ipsy Glam bag, so let's go ahead and get started. The first item that I got in my bag is a nail polish from Cosmetics in the shade Heavenly, which is a really light grayish periwinkle color. First, I'm going to prep my under eyes using these Patchology Flash Patch Eye Gels. These will help to depuff, smooth, and hydrate your under eyes. And to hydrate my lips, I'm going to be using this Purlisse Daily Lip Nourisher with mango and shea butters. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my foundation, and I'm going to go through this part kind of quickly. I'm going to prime my face using the Trust Fund Beauty Gimme Good Face Face Primer. This is a pore minimizing primer. So I'm just gonna apply this all over my face before I do my foundation. I can't forget my concealer. Whoop! Bye-bye, under eye.
See ya.
Bye-bye. Bye. And for foundation today, I'm using the Maybelline Matte and Poreless in the shade number 128, which is a little bit lighter and more yellow than the shade I was using before, 220. And I'm just gonna be applying this all over my face using a beauty blender. All right, so I'm doing my foundation before I do my eyeshadow, which I normally don't do. I know, but I'm doing it today because a lot of the eyeshadow is up in here. Obviously, I want to have my base on first. And I am going to add my Shape Tape to the inner corners of my eye. I'm not going to do like the whole under eyes yet, just because we got a little bit of time. Just in case there's any fallout, I want to be able to wipe it off easily. So I'm just going to do a little bit on the inner corners right here where I normally put it, just for the eyeshadow application process. And I'm using the Morphe E8 brush, just stippling right in here. All right, and then I'm gonna prime my eyes, and today I'm using the MAC Prep and Prime 24-Hour Extend Eye Base, and just apply this all over the lid. Then I'm just gonna set my eyes with an eyeshadow. I'm just gonna use Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek. Do you like my new Life palette? Condensed. Just a little peach smoothie. I'm gonna make sure it comes up here. This is actually like a pretty orangey color to set it with, but it's okay because we're going to be covering it anyway. All right, now I'm going to start the eyeshadow, and I'm using the Morphe. They're called the Little Palettes. This one is Copper Popper. And you know what? Actually, I like these a lot better than like the really, really large Morphe palettes. I've used those a couple times. They're okay, but it's just like too big. So I just like this one. I feel like it's more condensed. It's a good combination of colors. And this one is just so fall. It makes me sick. It's a really pretty palette, so I'm going to be using all of this today. Look at my hand right now. Do you see this? All right, so I'm going to start with this color right here. I'm going to call this Pumpkin Spice. And this is a Smith 230 brush. And I'm going to start building up this area right here. So this is like a nice kind of round tapered dome brush. So we're going to start in here and literally working this shadow into the brow and down like the contour of my nose. Then I'm gonna take the same shade with a Morphe R39 brush. This is just like a nice blending brush. And I'm gonna be adding that color into the crease and buffing it down onto the lid. All right, now using that same 230 brush, the round one, I'm gonna go in with the darker brown shade and just start shading on top of the lighter color. Now I'm gonna start adding some of the black shadow to the lid, and I'm gonna use a base, just like a black liner base. This is the Nars Kohl liner in black. I'm gonna add it all over the lid before I add my eyeshadow, just that way it makes it super, super dark. And then I'm gonna pack and blend black eyeshadow on top of it. And I'm gonna use the Makeup Geek Corrupt eyeshadow with the MAC 239 brush. And then I like to buff out the black eyeshadow with the 230 brush, the round one that we've been using. You can buff it out by itself, but I also like to add a little bit of the dark brown shadow. Just keep blending, blending, blending. And then for the inner corner, I'm gonna be using this really dark, dark brown, this brownie color. I'm gonna use that as the base, and then I'm gonna add these two on top of it. Let me do this one first. And I'm using a pencil brush to apply this. I'm gonna do it all up on this inner corner. It's pretty dark for an inner corner, but I like it. And then I'm going to go in with the lighter one on top of it. I'm just gonna take that 239 brush that I used for the black and that bronzy shadow. And I'm actually gonna pull it onto the black. Just give it a little bit of dimension. So now I'm gonna take the Ciate London Fierce Flicks eyeliner. This is a super intense carbon black eyeliner, and I'm just gonna add it to the top lid on the lash line. All right, and for lashes today, I'm gonna be using these ones that I just picked up at Namie's. These are Lily lashes, and the style is called Bali. Aren't they so pretty? They're so wispy, although it's touching on the inner corner over here, and I trimmed a lot of it off, but they are super pretty. This is a long eyelash, dude. Now I'm gonna add my brows, and I'm using the Goof Proof Brow Pencil number 4 from Benefit. And now I'm gonna go ahead and highlight my under eyes. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Light Medium, and I'm gonna buff that out with a damp beauty blender. And now I'm gonna set my under eyes using the RCMA No Color Powder. All right, I'm gonna give this stuff another shot. This is the Jouer Citrine highlighter, and I'm applying it with a Smashbox fan brush. It's like super shiny, but the formula is just not for me. I really wanted to give it another shot, but I'm not crazy about the formula. All right, now for blush, I'm gonna be using my Sephora Collection So Euphoric blush. And then I'm gonna use this Balm Cosmetics Hot Mama. This is a shadow or a blush. I'm gonna use this as like a blush highlight. So I'm just gonna add this on top of my Sephora blush. And now I'm actually gonna go into my lower lash line. I'm ready to take it there. So I'm gonna take the Morphe brush that I used in my crease and this color, same color I used in my crease. And we're gonna start, boom, smoking it. Then I'm gonna go straight into black. I'm gonna add black directly on top of it. Then I'm gonna add that same Nars liner into the waterline. So now for the inner corner, I want to add just a little pop of glitter. And to stick it on, I'm going to use this NYX Vivid Brights liner in the shade Vivid Gunmetal. It has a super easy to use applicator, so that way I can just add a really precise line. And the glitter I'm going to be using is this one from Inglot. This is number 49. It's like a gold kind of like hologramic. It's like a kind of gold. It's just a cool glitter. It's just a cool Inglot glitter, you know? Number 49. I don't even think they sell it anymore. Boom. Ooh. Ooh, with that little pop of silver behind it, they didn't know it was coming. Now I'm gonna do a little contour on my cheekbones, and I'm using this brush by Me. You can use this to put on blush, bronze, or contour, so I'm gonna use it to contour. Let's bronze, shall we? I'm using my old blush brush to bronze now. This old ass crown brush that's just like so bomb though. Like so bomb. And then I'm gonna contour the nose just a little bit right here to kind of like blend in the shadow. Just bring it down a little bit right here. We've already got a pretty serious contour going on with the eyeshadow. Some mascara on these lowers. All right, and then to finish off the inner corner, my lower lashes are like still drying right now, so I'm afraid to move. I'm gonna add a little black Inglot gel liner right up in here to finish it off. And then I'm just gonna finish off the makeup look with a nude lip. Okay, so that is it for the actual makeup look, and now I'm gonna show you guys the neck. So I'm gonna start by tracing 2 lines. This is just like where I'm gonna add the wax for the gaping wound, just so I know where it's gonna go. Now I'm gonna take some of this Ben Nye Scar Wax. This is the shade Fair. So I'm gonna take a chunk of this out, and then I'm gonna roll it to the length of the wound that I want. And once I have the shape that I want, I'm actually going to prep it on the back of my hand. So I am spreading some of it out. I know you can't see, it was really hard to film this part. The only reason I'm doing this on my hand is because it was easier to do than on my neck, because my neck is so squishy. So I'm just flattening out one side so that way it looks like this. And now to actually stick it to my skin, I'm going to be using this Prozaid cream. This is something that's supposed to be more gentle than Spirit Gum. So I'm just going to be adding this to the neck using a cosmetic sponge and then letting it dry a little bit until it turns clear before I stick on the actual piece of wax that we prepped on the hand. And now I'm just going to stick the wax onto my skin so that way the blended outside is on the outer side of the neck. And my recommendation, whether you use the wax or if you decide to use liquid latex, because you could totally use that if you wanted to, just make sure to not put it too high up on your neck because there's a lot more movement up on the higher part of your neck, and the more you move and the closer it is to that area, the easier it could fall off. And then I'm going to blend the wax into the skin using a spatula. Is it weird that this wax is like the exact same color as me? Like, can I get this in a foundation real quick? This is like my exact shade. And now I'm going to start shading the inside of the neck. This is going to be the wound part. So I'm using a black cream paint. This one's from the Makeup Forever Flash palette. And just a makeup brush. And I'm really making it the darkest on the side where the skin is supposed to be cut open. And then I'm brushing it towards the center. And now I'm going to outline the little things. And then, you know, I was trying to think about it. This isn't your spine, right? I think this is your trachea or some type of cartilage that shows. The white little thingies, the little rings, that's what I'm making right here. Yeah, I don't know my anatomy, okay? I guess it really depends how deep this wound is. I feel like it'd have to be pretty deep to be the spine, no? I think. Now to enhance the little neck bones, I'm going to be using some white paint. This is water activated paint, and I'm just using a blending brush, adding a little bit to the center of each area and lightly buffing it out. And next I'm taking some scab blood. This is like the really thick gelatinous blood. And I'm just adding it all over the wound area. In, around, inside. Now I'm gonna add a little bit of blood to the actual wound scar area. And I'm gonna use red lipstick. You can use red lipstick if you don't have any red paint on you. This one is from Tease Cosmetics, the shade Romantic Red. And I'm gonna be adding it with a blending brush just to the scar area of the skin. And here I'm just adding some more blood. I got a little sponge, adding some blood a little bit below the wound, some more scab blood below the wound before we add the drippy blood. And now it's time for the actual choker part. These are little gold hoops that I got in the jewelry section at the craft store. I opened them up a little bit with pliers, just a little tiny opening, and then I'm just gonna stick them in on both sides of the actual scab waxy part. So 3 on each side. And now it's time to add the chain part of the choker. And let me just tell you guys, this was hard AF for me. Okay, I just felt so much regret when I was doing this part, but it ended up looking really cool. So this was in the same part of the craft store. I just bought a gold chain. And just like lacing your shoelaces, I just laced it through the gold hoops. And yes, there was a struggle because it was on my neck, you know? And once that part was over, it is time to add the finishing touch, which is the drippy blood. The blippy blood. Alright, so that wraps up this makeup tutorial. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching. Looks like I started my period in my neck.
You're sick.
Are you grossed out?